My name is Megan and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be discussing some summer young adult science fiction and fantasy releases. I did my adult science fiction and fantasy summer releases a couple of weeks ago, so I wanted to do the YA ones. So these are not all of the books that are going to be released in summer. These are just books that I am anticipating or find interesting. But before we go ahead and get on into the list, if you are not already subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as the little bell icon so you can be notified every time I post new bookish content. I post new videos every Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, and sometimes other days throughout the week. Also, you can check down in the description box for links to my social media, my Buddy Read Discord, and my Patreon, where you can be entered into winning book giveaways. I have 7 books that I'm going to be talking about with you guys, and I'm going to go through them in release date order. Some of these books were released in May. When I think of summer, I think of June, July, August, but your girl is just not up to date. But they're still books that I found interesting and wanted to share with you guys. The first book is a YA sci-fi, and it is called Firebreak by Nicole Corner. When I first read the synopsis, I'm like, it sounds really cool, and I immediately added it to my Goodreads TBR. I might have added it to my Amazon wishlist too, but I know definitely my TBR. In this world, there's this large corporation that is called Stalaxis, and they have a lot of influence in society and in the world, and they kind of control a lot of things. And there was a war with this corporation at one time, and because of the war, there are a lot of orphans, war orphans, of which our main character is a war orphan. And Stalaxis creates these super soldiers that go around fighting and protecting people. But one day Mallory has an interaction with one of these super soldiers, and the corporation markets these super soldiers as things that they have created. But Mallory soon realizes that they are not created. These are actually other war orphans that Stalaxis has taken and turned into these super soldiers. So she has to decide what to do with this knowledge, whether she releases it to the public. Why is Stalaxis doing this? What is going on with these super soldiers? Why are they modifying people? Does anybody know? And it just sounds really interesting because I always find like human experimentation and genetic modification and engineering really interesting. And I feel like this book will touch on a bunch of those things. And Firebreak came out on May 4th. The next book is Mr. Impossible by Maggie Stiefvater. This is book 2 of her Dreamers series, which is a spinoff of the Raven Cycle. And the Raven Cycle is one of my favorite YA fantasy series, and I still have not read Call Down the Hawk, which is the first book in this series, so I definitely need to get on that. But this series follows Ronan, who is one of the characters from the Raven Cycle, and he has a magical ability of being able to dream things and then have them come into existence. So I'm curious to see if this is a series that I will really like and how she will develop Ronan as a character, because he was a really, for me personally, unlikable character in book 1. He was really just hard-edged and not very nice all the time. So definitely a character that wasn't my favorite, but there were things about him that were captivating. So the Dreamer series is one that I do want to get to eventually. And this book came out on May 18th. The next book is The Library of the Dead by T.L. Huchu, I guess is how you pronounce the name, I'm not really sure. But this book is marketed as Stranger Things meets The Sixth Sense, and I love Stranger Things. That is one of my favorite TV shows, so that right away captured my attention. The Library of the Dead takes place in Scotland, and it follows a main character who drops out of school to become a ghost hunter. She has the ability to talk to ghosts, to talk to the dead, and the dead, the ghosts, have actually been telling her that there is someone going around stealing children and leaving them as like empty husks. So kind of like taking their souls or taking their life from them. So these ghosts actually help her in trying to uncover what's going on. And there's a specific child that gets taken, and our main character takes it upon herself to investigate what's going on. So it sounds like a lot of fun. It sounds very paranormal, and just the Scotland setting I think will add a lot to the ambiance and creepiness of this story. So another one that I am looking forward to. And The Library of the Dead came out on June 1st. The next book is Witch Shadow by Susan Dennard. I believe this is book 4 in her Witchland trilogy, which I have the first 3 books and I still haven't read them, but this is a series that I definitely want to get to. It was one of the series that I plan to read in 2021, or at least attempt to. But as far as I know, it follows different characters that all have these different supernatural abilities. Our main character is a truth witch, so she is able to determine when people are lying and when people are telling the truth. And in the first book, there was a lot of people that were after her because of her abilities, and she had to flee with her best friend, and I think a prince. And it just sounds like a series that I would absolutely love. It's been recommended to me numerous times, so I'm excited that there is a fourth book out in this series, so I can finally read all four together. Witch Shadow comes out on June 22nd. The next book is Half Sick of Shadows by Lauren Sebastian, and this is an Arthurian retelling. I'm always looking for a good Arthurian retelling, so this one I am definitely excited for, and especially because it follows the point of view of Elaine, which I don't think I've read anything that took place from the point of view of Elaine, but Elaine is known as the Lady of Shalott, and the only thing I know about her is based off of Tennyson's poem, The Lady of Shalott, which is one of my favorites. And Elaine is cursed to see the future, and that's really all I know about this book. I feel like a lot of what goes down with this story is going to be a lot different from the original Arthurian tale, so I'm excited to see how our author kind of spins that. This one, like I said, super excited for, and Half Sick of Shadows comes out on July 6th. The next book is called And It Ends in Fire by Andrew Schwartz. And we follow a character named Alka, and when she was young, she witnessed the brutal murder of her parents by these evil wizards. And after their murder, she was rescued by some type of resistance, and she grows up with them. And when she is a teenager, she is placed as a spy into this wizarding school. So she must have some sort of magical abilities herself. And she's in this school, and then people slowly start to suspect that she is a spy, and everything becomes super dangerous, and she has to protect her identity. And that's all I know about this book. I feel like there's definitely a lot more to it than that. I feel like there's going to be some sort of conspiracy with regards to the rebellion and the resistance, and maybe the wizards aren't as evil as she originally thought. So this book definitely is one that piqued my interest also, plus the cover is beautiful, and this book also comes out on July 6th. And the last one is Forestborn by Elaine Audrey Becker, and this is one that I've already added to my TBR and my wish list because it sounds like something I would absolutely love. It follows a character named Rora, and Rora is a shapeshifter, and she uses her abilities to spy for the king, and they live near this magical dark forest. So right away we get that dark forest trope, which I really enjoy. And there is this plague that infects the kingdom, and the only thing that can cure this plague is this magical stardust that can only be found in this dark forest. So Rora is commissioned along with her brother and a prince that is not really the best person to trek through this dark forest to find the cure to this plague. And it just sounds very, very fairy tale-esque and a little bit whimsical. And I just love the idea of like stardust curing illness. It's just really, really magical to me. And this is one that I'm highly anticipating, and its release date is August 31st. Okay, you guys, so that is it for some of the summer young adult science fiction and fantasy book releases that I am excited for. Let me know some of your most anticipated reads for the summertime, or if you're interested in reading any of these, and I will see y'all soon in another video. Goodbye.